Hola, familia estelar, you did not only by chance, you have indeed entered into a sacred world line collision. Now, we have a few messages that are coming through today. I'm going to do this one first, specifically for this day that you're seeing it. And I do want to talk about what happened in the astral, because what I was seeing was this beautiful house, right? This beautiful house that someone was renting. $3,000 could be significant for you. It doesn't have to be. But this house that you're renting, well, what does that mean? In the metaphysical realm, the house represents a depiction of the soul and the self. The living room that you walked into represents your public image, or the way that your soul kind of expresses itself and is perceived in the public eye in the avatar that it's seated in. And this luxurious house, I'm talking about, this house was nice. Like, you came into it and there was actually inside of the living room, it was almost placed like a swimming pool, but it was like in a pond style. So there was so much water here, which shows that there's something malleable that's happening in your public image. It's almost like you were shape-shifting and changing in the public eye in some way. You know, that's what I'm seeing it as. It's the way that people see you. It's because of also the things that you do, and also the way that you touch people, the way that you impact people. You know, that's what the 12th house is about, because it's a house of legacy, which is not just things that you accomplish, but it's also the impact that you have, and that is an accomplishment of itself. And this could be because you embody a different kind of example. You know, it's also about responsibilities. And we're talking about responsibilities on almost like a soul level in regards to things that you're being guided to do. And I do want to open up with, did I open this up with you entered into a sacred world line collision? Well, this materialized into your reality if I haven't, because it's exactly what you need to hear at this stage in your journey. But listen, right? Okay, so the message that was coming through is that it was beautiful, and there's just a shift that's happening with you in the public eye. Now, this isn't going to be for everyone. I do want to open up saying that this is definitely not going to be for everyone. There is a double passport as well that I saw in the astral realm, but the double passport is almost like you being a citizen of the universe, right? Or multiversal universal organism, right? Or citizen. And it's like you're navigating this life on earth with otherworldly knowings. And you don't just know this information. You are not separate from this information. You're the living, breathing embodiment of animating this information through the way that you move through this construct. You're not separate from that in any way. That's what I'm talking to, right? There's a difference between knowing the path and actually walking the path. Now, what I was seeing as well was every single time, right, these past few nights, when I've anchored back into the third dimension, I've been surprised that I've like come back. So I'm seeing this as parallels that are colliding for you, and there's information that you're receiving and anchoring from the other side, okay? Anyway, we're going to take a look at what this is. I'm going to see what this big luxurious house was. And again, this was, okay, also, this was the other message, I forgot. Okay, so this person was renting the house, right? So I feel like this is a new, almost like, I don't want to say societal mask, but it feels like a new thing that you're kind of test driving, a new thing that you're kind of getting used to, right? It's something that you're trying on, because what happens when you rent something? It's like you rent, I'm hearing, before you buy. So there's something that you're fully investing into, but it's about the experience of the soul and the different ways that it gets to express itself, okay? And there's something about you giving yourself permission to express kind of a different way of moving through this construct, and that's something that's being, I'm hearing, not just observed, but taken a note of and also admired. So let's take a look at you. Pulsar and geocentric model. Okay, this is interesting because and then you have dark energy at the base. Okay, so you've done a lot of integration of the wounded self. Geocentric model talks about the wounded self. It basically is where the non-physical incarnates into the physical, right? And there's that interface, and there's always going to be that conversation happening where the soul knows no limits. The soul knows no bounds, right? It's like the limit does not exist in regards to the things that you can create in this system. However, you've incarnated into a carbon-based life form. You were called forth, your soul was called forth by a generational lineage where you had inherited and adopted a lot of these different belief systems that are almost physical laws. If the whole universe is inside of you and the universe experiencing yourself as human, well, you have taken on physical laws by your generational lineage and this system, this matrix, right, and this construct. And that has restricted the way that you create when you move through this existence. Belief systems are almost like blockages, right? They pollute the runway of life force being able to flow through you and move into everything that you do. So it disrupts your ability as a creator, because it also distorts the way that you see yourself as infinite potential. Now, the message is that you have dissolved successfully and alchemized, because that's the only way that you can do it, right? Alchemize these blockages, these crystalline blockages that have occurred through repetitive thought forms generationally, right? These are repetitive thought forms generationally that you've been able to ascend into a higher framework. Now, what I'm seeing with geocentric model and pulsar, this has been a short but intense turning point for you now. Okay, there is a short and intense turning point happening for you right now because you are seeing yourself clearly. And I'm hearing it's for the first time, but it feels like for the first time in this lifetime. This is something that you've been able to successfully do through many carbon-based life forms that you've incarnated into. Each one has had their own subset of physical laws, right? Different kind of, maybe there's insecurity in a body that you had incarnated into in a previous lifetime. Maybe there was attachment issues, right, that you were dealing with from that generational lineage. And I'm just seeing that kind of evolve and evolve and evolve. And maybe in this lifetime, there was something around wounds in the way that you see yourself, right? Maybe there was huge self-trust blockages. It's going to be different for each one of you, right? You're going to know what that is. But let's talk about geocentric model, because it will talk about it. It's like the relationship that you have to this vessel and loving it back into its full potential. That's what it feels like. It's like you're unlocking the humans. I'm hearing not just full potential, but also pure potential. So just, oh, I wrote geomagnetic storm. Okay, this is interesting. So I opened it up on a page where you're sending ripples, but this is sending ripples to your ancestral lineage. So geocentric model talks about the wounded ego. Does everything rotate around the earth? It talks about, this card is related with the ego, right? The vessel that you've incarnated into, insecurities and projections onto others. When we take something personally, it doesn't say anything about the other, but it says a lot about ourselves. Did it hurt? Because it should not. Recognizing that for some reason our ego is damaged by a topic or point, and it's a powerful virtue. Nobody does anything to you personally. Everyone is immersed in a battle with their own demons. Taking something personally is effectively accepting some fear or insecurity that prevents an open wound from being seen clearly with a broad mind. Investigate the fear of pain lying deep within. It will reveal itself and reveal that there's much more hiding behind it. Let your guard down. It calls for a change of perspective. Explore your inner self. So the portal is about working on fears with self-love and the awareness of what those fears actually are. Because those fears are telling you a lot. I'm hearing like your body is speaking to you and your ancestors speak to you through what arises within the vessel. So this is for someone that, again, has cultivated a complete different kind of, mastered all these different kind of layers, okay? We're talking about like the soul matrix. We're talking about all these different kind of layers of the self. And you remember yourself as not just a multi-dimensional being, but also a multi-triadic being, where you are spirit manifested into form, right? You've mastered matter, the physical, the spirit, the soul, all the way up to, you know, source playing inside of its own creation, and that's completely intertwined. So there is a different kind of mastery that you have over your mind, your emotions, because when something does arise within the vessel, you're like, okay, what was the origin point of this? Is this actually my belief system? When was this first adopted unconsciously moving through this construct? Like, this is things that you've been actively moving through. So let's talk about pulsar, right? Pulsar talk about a short and intense journey, but also like a huge turning point for you. So I'm hearing like you've cultivated mastery over the relationship to this vessel. Like you've mastered what are those wounds in this vessel? You've mastered what are the wounds within this generational lineage, within this bloodline, and you've done that each lifetime, but it's been a different kind of exercise that you've had to do. There's different kind of portals that you've had to work through, right? Like blockages within your chakras, all these kind of imbalances. So intermittence, this is short but intense, spinning at breakneck speed, pulsar. It's a roller coaster. So this is something that happens very, very, like, this is something that not only leaves a mark in the historical timeline, but it changes the way that you navigate this existence moving forward from this present moment, because you've been able to be more present with self. Now, dark energy talks about there being so much more to discover in the unknown. And it just feels like there's something that you're being called, and this is something you're test driving, right? Again, it's something grand. It is allowing you to access a new world within yourself, a complete new relationship with your own internal universe, right? Universe, the one verse in you. Right, let's go and take a look at what this is. I actually want to get a Gateway of the Light activation card because I can already see where this reading is going. And pulsar is your journey on earth changing quickly, because this is a shift of perspective, right? So this energy is about your journey on earth changing because the world inside of you has shifted, right? Halls of learning, confirmation. So actually this is like ancestors working with you. This is spirit guides that have been working with you, even in the astral realm, which is super funny. Spirit guides, confirmation, great lessons. Yeah, it's funny because I'm seeing someone that goes into these other parallels, right, where you're continuing these lives in these other dimensions, and then like you return back to earth, and it's like, why would there be like let's just say limitations here, or the illusion of there being limits if you experience no limits in that realm? You know, it's almost like you're bringing forth some kind of information, you're acting upon it, and as you do that in the present moment and the way that you show up for yourself in the present, what's changing the future timelines that you're aligned with. So halls of learning. Oh, the test driving I'm seeing with the house is like you're test driving. You've been test driving this vessel. You know, it's almost like, and what is this vessel? It's something that you don't buy. It's something that you rent out, kind of, right? It's like, because it's not really any kind of ownership over the vessel. It's merely a tool to move through this realm. And you know, each, I'm hearing car kind of has its own, you know, it has its own kind of things that you have to adjust to. So that's almost how I'm seeing it. It's almost like you're getting used to it. You know, is it automatic? Is it a manual? Is it a hybrid? There's different kind of, I'm hearing wounds not even just ancestrally, but in your starseed lineages that you're also working through as you move through this earth. So halls of learning. This talks about where you're connected with, you know, spirit guides and those between lives. They have been visited by spiritual seers, seekers, mystics, mediums, and, you know, it's like the halls of a mentee. So when you can come to visit them, you're connecting directly with the wisdom of source. So source saying, I want to experience incarnating into a vessel that has insecurity issues, or has become the product of a bloodline that held a lot of shame or guilt, you know? So just because I want to be able to experience what's on the other side of that, right? We're here for the full spectrum of human emotion. I want to experience someone that goes from this polarity into this polarity, right? This kind of huge contrast that actually supports the soul's expansion. And that doesn't have to be a journey of suffering, you know? And that paradigm shift of, suffering is a choice. Well, that's going to be hard for someone to hear that. I wants to touch the message, but it's not embodying. And it's like, suffering is a choice. Okay, this self-created cycle of suffering that you've created for yourself was a different way that you can view the situation, right? Are you attaching to the story that played out, the character, the event? Are you not taking forth the wisdom? You know, it's like there is always an equivalent seed of opportunity in every seeming challenge or obstacle. And you don't see the world as it is. You see it as you are. So if you see suffering in this world, it's because there is an aspect of you that's suffering within yourself. You know, if you choose to see the good and I'm hearing like the hidden message behind things and the magic in this existence, it's because you've tapped into that octave within yourself. And they can always coexist. So it's just being aware and conscious of, okay, what octave within you are you tuning into? So are you on the path to great learning. Spiritual beings are drawing close to you right now. If you've been facing challenging or difficult circumstances, you've moved through such a time, you're being called to review what it is that you've learned about yourself. If you're still feeling overwhelmed by a certain event or asking why it's happened, call on source and your guides to reveal to you the pattern, the trauma, the wound that has contributed towards this challenge. If you aren't experiencing challenging energy, and I feel like this is the majority that I'm speaking to, it's because you have made huge progress on your spiritual journey, so much that your perspective has shifted and you now view every challenge as a window of opportunity. The halls of learning gateways indicates that your spiritual gifts are developing during this time. So again, there's a different kind of relationship that you're mastering, and there's changes and shifts that are happening within you that is now becoming apparent to those around you, because you're reflecting, okay, I can move through the most tumultuous kind of circumstances, the most kind of destabilizing circumstances, the most abrupt changes, but I can thrive through that, right? It becomes a matter of, it doesn't even matter where you are or what happens. What matters is the relationship that you've cultivated with yourself. Home is where the heart is. When you feel so secure and stable within your body and this vessel, no matter what happens in the external, it will not disrupt your internal state of being. It will not bring you out of harmony. It will not bring you out of the knowing that you have and the truth that you have inside of you, in the way that you view the nature of this construct. When everything falls apart, it's because it's falling into place. And there's always an octave within you. It's the one that's silently observing. The one that is becoming louder, that octave. That's just the chattering mind. And your happiness and peace resides in being able to observe that chattering mind until it becomes background noise in a coffee shop. That fearful voice is there, but you still act even in the presence of it. You don't wait for the absence of it, because you're here to coexist with it as a multidimensional being, as a multi-triadic being. So, yeah, I'm going to close out with one message, and then I'm going to love and leave you guys right there, because I actually have a lot to do today. Let's see. Let's just take a look at, I kind of want to take a look at just you. Let me take a look at your energetic signature, what kind of archetype you're showing up as right now in this moment. You have 2. Okay, so you're coming up as the judgment and the unknown. What is the judgment and the unknown, right? The judgment is Archangel Gabriel energy. It's somebody that is being called forth, like the soul is being called forth, right? The judgment and the unknown archetype is Plutarian. So Pluto is about an excavation that's taking place, it's about a rebirth that's taking place, and it's one that's not announced. It's something that is just truly embodied, and it's really just a phoenix rising from the ashes kind of moment, and you're making friends with the unknown. You could be even becoming unknown even to yourself or those around you. And then you have the Ten of Swords, which is a huge psychological ending, right? So there's an old way of thinking that is just not conducive, right? It's like, are these thoughts conducive for what it is I'm currently experiencing? What is the highest perspective that I can have on this circumstance that I'm experiencing on earth? If something brings you out of harmony, it's about how quickly can you bring yourself back into harmonic order? How quickly can you go from 100 back to 0? Remember that this is an illusion. Remember that this is an illusion. Come back to the 0 point. Begin to observe what's going on around you. Observe the cosmos within what appears to be chaotic. Observe the secret ordering and what may appear to be disorderly. Have that internal conversation before you react, and choose a conscious response. What does the ending bring? A new beginning. There is a new beginning happening within you, and it feels like a new reality or world that's happening as well. Pluto is literally the psyche, so it's the interface of where your non-physical meets the physical. There's a conversation around an ending psychological ways of moving through the universe inside of you that are just not supportive for the soul's journey. It's like, okay, this has to come to an end. This is something that you're closing out, and it's happening internally within you. So this is very deep introspective shifts that are taking place, that are leading to you, like your vibration speaking for itself. your embodiment speaking for itself. You don't need to announce it. This is something that is self-woven. This is about you becoming a witness to how far it is that you've come because you've exercised. It feels like, again, this is like a soul exercise, moving from lifetime to lifetime. And you've been able to master your relationship with the vessel, master your relationship with the mind, mastering your relationship with the emotions. And this is leading to mastering your relationship with matter. So I'm going to love and leave you right there. I don't think there's anything more to say. Those who know will know, and I will speak to you very soon. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing. We'd love to have you around, especially if you resonated with this message. Personal reading details also down below. Also check out 𝓪𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓬 if you guys are looking for some high quality AA grade jewelry. I have part of the third eye chakra collection on today, as well as moonstone, rainbow moonstone. $1 of the proceeds are donated towards altar sanctuaries. So yeah, 2 discount codes for that down below. I'll speak to you very soon until we meet again, until you choose to collapse me into your third dimensional experience once again. Okay, don't be afraid, hit that download button. Bye.